Hey everybody, Erico here. So I am back again on your screens talking about a topic that I've covered before and has to do with Johnny and Associates, who is a big J-pop label. They have so many boy groups that Japan loves. I mean, droves of fans, fangirls, fanboys. These are artists that are all across the board talented in acting, dancing, singing, being MCs, modeling, just are all in your face. And as a result, many Japanese people love these groups, but there's been this scandal that's been like an overcast rain cloud over Johnny and Associates, and it has to do with the scandal that involves their late president. And there has been so much talk in the underground about him sexually assaulting a lot of the young boys that came into the company. And this started as far back as like the 1960s, and there was even more that has been dug up saying that he was even being involved with boys when he was teaching baseball and when he was a teacher. So in the beginning, a lot of these allegations were not being covered, and they were only being seen in small windows because a lot of the Japanese media did not want to touch this topic. And now that there have been even more ex-artists of this label coming out and saying that we've had run-ins with this man, and this man ruined us in a way, and we had to pick up the pieces and really come back to ourselves. It has caused an investigation where even the new president has said, we'll cooperate. And they've come out and they said, we're going to actually look into this and really dive deep into it. Because there have been these boys that have come out, but no one has really tried to hear them. They were seen as a menace to society. They were seen as crazy. There was one that wrote a tell-all book. I've talked about this, and he eventually passed away to drug abuse, and it all led back to the trauma that he had from being involved with this man, Johnny. And so they had authorities go and investigate the company, investigate all the people involved, and there are people that started talking. They were saying that yes, he was being involved with the boys there, and it was something that constantly happened, and it happened for years and years and years. And so now that this has come to light and they actually have evidence, there's actually a detailed report. It is mind-boggling, you guys, like looking through this and seeing finally concrete evidence, because for so long there has been only a handful of people that have actually listened and tried to cover this. But now the spotlight is on the Japanese media because they're saying that this has been happening and no one wanted to cover this. No one wanted to touch this story. Why? And of course it's because they were afraid of being blacklisted. We're talking about Johnny's and Associates, who have the biggest boy bands in all of Japan. People love these boy bands. These boy bands are part of the culture, pop culture in Japan. They are making waves. They are moving the table. I love Arashi. There are a lot of people that love Arashi. And they knew that if they even tried to rub on this story, that they would be blacklisted, and that Johnny would not want his artists to be performing on these stations or be involved with these stations, so a lot of them kept quiet. The magazine that actually gave the boys a voice in the past was scrutinized, and they filed lawsuits. And Johnny got away with it. You know, at first there was no evidence, or it was gossip. Then finally the Japanese court ruled, and they said, you know, there might be something behind this. And as you all know, good old Johnny passed away. We don't know if he's wrapped in a blanket in heaven or wrapped in flames in hell. Probably the second one. And now it's just about having the evidence and getting to the truth. Because there have been fragments of the truth that have been floating around for a while now. And there are people that found these fragments, and there's been censorship. There was Johnny Jr.'s trainees. Johnny Jr.'s is like that space where the boys come in, they train to be a part of Johnny's and Associates and debut as a group. There was one ex-trainee that actually did a whole article, you know, talked about being in Johnny's and his experience. And he also said in a portion of the interview that there were trainees that actually were trying to sleep with Johnny because they knew for a fact that he was gay, and that if they went and they slept with him, that they would be able to debut faster. There was also others that said that he would tell some of them to come to his room, or they would say go to sleep early. And so all of this, it came out. But then when the Japanese public started to get any type of sense that this was coming out and that foreign media was interviewing these ex-trainees, they tried to censor it. They tried to say, well, you know, you're outing someone. It was all these excuses. And it's just like the truth is staring you in the face, and you choose to just la 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 la, I don't see it, no, it's not there, I don't know anything about it, stop it. I also want to say that it's sad that it took foreign media and YouTubers outside of Japan to force the Japanese media to actually look at this case. This case has been ongoing for forever. And we all had to keep our foot on Japan's neck to look at this, because they were not trying to really dive deep into this case. It does not make any sense at all. It took all of us in interviewing some of the ex-trainees and actually going into the story and researching for Japan to be like, oh yeah, we messed up. Yeah, you all did. You all definitely did. And the man is dead. He done gone on about his business and has left these victims in his wake. And it comes to the point where people in Johnny's and Associates knew this was going on. The media outlets knew this was going on. I'll even go as far as to say, and it makes me sad to say this, that there were some fans that probably knew as well. It's like the same instance with a lot of people in America and even the black community knowing about R.Kelly and what was going on with that, R.Kelly and Aaliyah, and for years seeing this play out and not really say too much about it until finally it just exploded, and now it's in your face and you have to talk about it. You see what happened to R.Kelly, and Johnny passed away. I mean, he got out in a pain-free way. Now we have all these media outlets that are releasing statements, and they're like, well, we'll wait to see how it plays out. But it doesn't take away the sour taste in everyone's mouth that this was going on, and that there were multiple boys that we're screaming for help. And we're saying that we want our voices to be heard. We want you all to know what he was doing. But many people didn't want to listen because they cared more about their own entertainment and money. And I will say, I understand to a point some of the media outlets and the TV stations, because behind the camera and behind the people that are in the conference room and that are at the drawing boards, they have families and they have to eat. They have to make money so they can eat. I understand that, but still it was at the expense of young boys that were being abused. And it's like, you really have to let that sink in. And I'm not talking about the ones that were willingly going to sleep with Johnny. That's a whole different topic. It still doesn't take the light off of Johnny himself, because those boys were underage. It doesn't matter about outing him. It doesn't matter what sexual orientation he was. He was messing with his trainees. These boys were going into the company. They were young. He had been doing this constantly, and he got away with it. And it's sad that the Japanese media played a part in it, that there were people in Japanese society that turned a blind eye because they cared more about the entertainment aspect and about just seeing these boy bands and them being idols and them buying their CDs and buying their image more so than what was going on behind the scenes. And what definitely disturbs me, and I'm going to say it, is that we have groups now that are out under Johnny's and Associates that have been out for ever, that have formed the culture of boy band history in Japan. We don't know what happened to them behind closed doors. I mention constantly I'm a fan of Arashi, and it deeply disturbs me to know that Nino or Sho or any of them might have had contact with this man and is holding it inside and not talking about it and choosing to just go on. And it makes me sick. It makes me very, very ill and very sick, and I hope that's not the case. But you never know. You don't know about any of them that are out now and what could have happened to them in order for them to debut. Ugh. And it's sad that the only closure we had to this case is the concrete evidence. But I hope that this gives the victims a peace of mind. I mean, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but each and every one of you all should have the opportunity to go and spit on his grave. Or spit wherever his remains, whatever his tombstone, because he took advantage of you all. He used his power to take advantage of you all. The current president of Johnny's and Associates needs to step down. They can really throw all of the old staff away because they all were bystanders to all of this. And it's disgusting. So you guys, this is a lot to think about. How do you feel about this whole thing? How do you feel about this long ongoing case? Ugh. Follow my social media, mostly my Instagram. Also the blog News Asian Pop Culture. The link is always down in the description box below. And remember, be real, stay real, live in the real, and I will always be back. If you think someone is being sexually abused, please contact someone, contact professional help, get them help.